Yes, I was born in Grimsby sort of thing, and left school when I was 14. Went to work at the ice company when I was 14. I worked in the office for the first 12 months, but office work wasn't for me, and I became an apprentice electrician there when I was 15, and that's where it all started. It was a good company to work for. Are we recording this or sorry?
Yeah, no, it's alright.
Can I? Oh, you'll edit it.
Just
Yeah,
as it comes.
FCL Fleming was the general manager. Len Shaw was the chief engineer. Being on the engineering side, I knew most of the people who were engineering side. The main run of the place was, it had four, I think I'd be safe in saying 600 horsepower J&E Hall compressors driven by a Metropolitan Vickers synchronous induction motors, which were high voltage motors, which was unusual, you know, before the time really. They used to have, when I first went there, they had the cooling coils for the ammonia was on the roof of the place. It was, you know, this sort, you know, more or less S-shaped coils, and it was said there was nearly 25 miles of coil for cooling, but during my time there they were taken out and cooling, they were like a tower, but it was a much more modern system, and which they used for cooling ammonia. When you think of it now, the cooling water was drawn from the dock. Well, the dock's terribly filthy water, and there was 3 large pumps. I think they were about 50 horsepower at the back end of the building, which they pulled in, which they used for cooling water. And one of the things which used to happen, they used to have a big strum in the in front of each pump, so they didn't get any litter or anything or debris in. But in that dock there used to be no end of eels, and I always remember there was an eel man who used to come every now and again and empty these strums, because they used to get nearly full of eels, sort of thing. The process was, there was 6 cranes downstairs. They were small ones, and 2 upstairs, and when we had a more modern, so I think, yes, 6, 5, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I might be getting a bit wrong there, but the system was you filled up with water at one end into the moulds, dropped it in, automatic cranes just then went to the other end, lifted one out, tipped it over, it spewed out onto the floor in front of the floor space, conveyor going, a slatted conveyor going along, taking the ice to the crushers, which was a great big drum with spikes about 2 or 3 inches long on them, and you just drop over into the crusher. Then it was taken by, it came out into bucket elevators, which took it to the conveyors, the screw conveyors these, which then transported it across the road onto the trawlers, or if it was for pontoon use or packing the fish in, the lorries used to draw up outside the ice company itself, and it was in the same way into the crusher, up the elevator, but it was just switched over, and it used to come just down the chutes onto the kits, they call them. They were wooden barrels without a top on, which themselves, they were made on site sort of thing. They had 2 coopers working all the time, making them and repairing them.